There we go. All right, cool. So awesome. Okay. So tell me again, because this will be a good intro for the video, kind of what you were looking to do as far as our conversation the other day.
Well, it's just that I come across land, I come across what I consider vacant property, things that I can potentially A, maybe use for your business, B, use for my business in regards to the manufactured housing and then, real estate itself. But I can pull up the assessor site, I can get some information. I've got access to title companies, they'll do some work for me, but I just don't know exactly how to get emails and phone numbers to directly talk to these people instead of sending out maybe a flyer or a letter and never getting a response. I understand that,
Right.
you in my mind, you got to do somewhere between 8 and 15 contacts with somebody before you're going to get a response. And just this day and age, you need a cell phone and an email. And that kind of information is just not readily accessible, especially for vacant or, bad properties.
Right. Right. Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, I mean, there's some people out there that don't even know about, the assessor's website. Every county has one. Some are better than others. Like here locally, if we're talking about Washoe County's assessor's website is awesome, and the rest of them basically suck. So we use a program called Batch to do kind of what you're looking to do. And just for the video, so he's driving around, he sees, an obviously distressed property or a vacant property, someone that he wants to call, talk to the seller, see if they're interested in selling, and either make an offer on it for himself or get a listing out of it or something like that. Is that right?
Yes. But
Yeah.
basically, it's to do the footwork that a lot of people don't want to necessarily do the footwork.
Right.
And, as far as it goes, I completely agree with you. The assessor site here in Reno, if you know how to work around it, it's fantastic. The rest of Lyon County, Douglas County, other areas are a little bit more difficult.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
I've got a rapport with those people, so I know who to talk to.
Yeah, at the county.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's see. Let's get this one going. All right, cool. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to log into our Batch account, and then for this, Jason, I will send you a link if you want to they do like a 7-day free trial. The link I give you is going to be like an affiliate link. So if you end up signing up, we get paid on it. And then for anyone watching the video, it'll be down in the description, same thing. So Batch is basically a program. You can do a lot with it, but it compiles like all of the county's assessor info and tax records and all that nationwide. So you don't have to switch back and forth between, oh, and this one's in Washoe County, this one's in Lyon County, this one's in Carson, and going to a bunch of different sites. We can pull up all the information there. I still use the assessor's sites just as like a supplement to this, because for whatever reason, sometimes there's variation and stuff like that. So I just like to look at both. So for this,
I generally like to use the assessor site to verify though.
Right. So do you have an address you want to give me, or do you just want to do whatever?
What is it? So this was a very distressed property. If I can, 2025 McLeod, Reno.
Okay. 2025 McLeod. So we'll go ahead and click search. And so this is going to bring us, we click here, we'll go details. This is going to give us a bunch of information that you can find on the assessor's website. You have your living area, year built, bedroom, bathroom, lot size in acres, property type, your APN, all the stuff that's just pulling straight off of the county website. But now if we wanted to look at one in Lyon County, we don't have to switch websites, which is pretty nice. And then on here as well, other stuff that we use, the sale and loan information. This is something that you don't get on the assessor's website. And this isn't always super accurate, but this will tell you, okay, we can see here in 2021, they got a new loan of this amount. Here's the estimated payment, principal, and interest. So that's pretty cool when we're digging into properties, so you can see if they're like upside down in equity or if it's free and clear and all that stuff. And then we can see the documents that you can pull from the recorder's website right here, as far as like the deed transferring and all that stuff. So we use that a lot. Tax information, same thing. It's pulling straight off of the I guess treasurer or assessor, wherever they do that. Foreclosure and liens, if there are any information, it would be here. And then you can go to owner profile. And then if it's someone that owns a bunch of properties, they're linked off of the mailing address. It'll show all the properties that they own right here, which is also pretty cool. You can, since you're an agent, you don't need this feature, and we don't use batch for comping, but anyone out there that is not an agent, doesn't have MLS access, you can use this to comp, where you can, draw around the neighborhood, and then they do like, some of this, they basically comp it for you, like already.
Gotcha.
They pull these and you can click yes or no, I want to include those in my comps. So if you're not an agent, it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of functions for that stuff too. To specifically answer your question, so one of the reasons that we use batch over PropStream, which has a lot of the same features, is batch is known for its skip tracing, which is this right here. So we can do this all on the same platform. And if I just click skip trace, it's going to cost me 12 cents. And all I have to do is add it to a list here, which it doesn't really matter. I'll just add it on this one for now. And we click skip trace. And after it loads, we should get a phone number.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And it's not always 100% accurate, but like for our cold callers and stuff, this is how we get all of the phone numbers. So we have a bunch of phone numbers and some emails here. So I'll just screenshot this so I can just send it to you later, so you don't have to write it down. And then, yeah, so you can obviously just call right here and keep going down the list and see, if one of these ends up working and you're able to reach the seller. What else did I want to say? Another source that we use, let me think here. Oh, if you get, let me see here. If you get the higher level of batch, I think like the base thing is like $100 a month. And then for like $240 a month, you can use their, it's in the same platform, their texting platform. So you can like, load your own list in there, skip trace all the phone numbers, and then cold text people right from the platform as well. So there's a lot of functionality. I basically only use it to like look up property info. And I think we do use it for texting here and there, but we have a different platform that we use just for texting. But definitely like for one-off properties, since you can just skip trace right from there, it's super useful. And then another, like there's a lot of free resources too, like True People Search. Why is that over there? True People Search. This would be like a free version of skip tracing. So if it's just like a one-off, or if the numbers on batch don't work, I'll go into here and see if I can get a different, what's it called? Different phone number.
Yeah.
So let me go. So we have like two names basically here. So I'm going to copy and I'll go here and then Reno, Nevada. And I'll just add, I know you know this, but for the video, if their mailing address is the same as the property address, that usually means that it's owner occupied, like they live at this property. If this was different, if this has, a Sparks address, then this is probably like a rental or vacant because they live at a different address than the actual property address. So back to this search. So we have, two results here. We'll click here. So we kind of confirmed like this is probably the same guy since we have the same address here. And then we have different
phone
numbers here, and those may or may not be the same ones that are on batch, but I'll go ahead and screenshot those for you too.
Okay. Does the skip trace, is it always like 12 to 15 cents or?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. It's about 12. I think ours is 12, and I think you can just use batch. Just has like a skip tracing feature too. If you like Google batch skip or something, where you can just use it for the skip tracing without the actual platform.
Okay.
So, that might be an option for you since you already have like MLS access, how to use the assessor and all that stuff. But for other people that are wanting to get into this and need a platform that you can do all of this stuff with, it's definitely worth it just to pay the $100 a month to get that. Let's see what else. So I guess that kind of answers your question about like how we get the phone numbers for these people. Sometimes nothing will come up. Other times we'll have all these phone numbers and none of them work for some reason. And then at that rate, you're basically left to either send them a piece of mail that, like you said, they probably won't respond to, but you never know, or go door knock them if they live at the property.
Yeah, I don't think that the current owner lives at this property.
It's probably vacant or a rental or something, or squatters.
It's very, very rundown.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be occupied at all. It looked like there was fire damage a couple of years back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But,
So who knows where they actually live, but it's still listed as that's their mailing address. But yeah, and I mean, alternatively, which you can't do on batch, but you can on the assessor, is just search their name. And I mean, this one, it should pull up under that owner profile if they have other properties, but we can check just to make sure. So it looks like only McLeod comes up.
Yeah, there's
under his
not even
name.
a separate mailing address.
Right. So we can see a couple people with the same last name, but not Michael. And then the other one was Laura.
Yeah.
So we can try to do her. Same thing. It's going to be a million kings, so we don't need to go through all those. But oh yeah, that's looking pretty rough, huh? I feel like we've looked at this before. I think this is in our CRM. Let me check. What was it? 2025?
Yeah.
Underwrite. Or King. So I have a phone number for you. And I have an email for you, but not because of batch, just because we have already talked to this person.
Do you remember what response you got?
Phone got shut off. So
okay.
Yeah, let me check our notes here real quick. So yeah, I remember Kyle going on this appointment. They he is definitely doing some meth. This guy thought that he could rehab this whole house for 40K, as yeah, people in those situations often do. Said someone offered to pay 225. Absolutely no chance that happened. And then he gets to walk with 33.
Well, the property next door to it is actually how I came upon this property, and it's on the market for 299, and it's not in much better condition. Now, talking to the listing agent in regards, she had several offers around, asking price. So I'm not exactly sure what happened to it. My client wasn't going to take the risk. The numbers just didn't crunch correctly for them. And then second, this property is just so dilapidated that it's hurting their value. Doesn't matter what they do with that land, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yep. I think I saw that one you're talking about get listed recently.
Yeah, it's been on the market for about 7, maybe 8 days.
Yep.
But it's looking at this, it's to the right. It's the property right next to it.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. This one here.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, this one, I remember it's like, and that's another thing about the assessor's website that you don't get in batch, at least for, Reno. Usually you
is
get the drawings, which is cool. And then you can kind of see with a house like this that has a weird floor plan that looks like it's been added on to 15 times, you can sometimes get an idea of what's going on there or what the original floor plan was and stuff like that with the drawings that you might not be able to see just from like the aerial imagery and stuff. So assessor, I prefer the assessor if we're talking about Washoe, just because it's easy to read and it has a lot of good information. But as you know, like the Lyon County one, the Carson one, the Douglas one, Story, like they're so hit and miss with what's on there, and it's just not as detailed as Washoe anyway. So usually you can get some more information on those counties through batch.
just a odd suggestion for maybe just local people. You might want to do an assessor video, because at least with Washoe County Assessor, you can pull up the flood zones, you can pull up the fire codes, you can pull up a lot of things, especially depending on if people want to deal with, certain particular areas. You're going to need to know that information, because flood zone is very key on what you're doing in regards to flipping properties and stuff like that.
Yep, 100%. Cool. I'm gonna so I guess that kind of answer your question, just for like,
Yeah.
I guess a general, like, how do you find the seller of this property? So I'm gonna kill the video or the recording right now, and then we can talk a little bit more in just a second.
Okay.
So stop recording.